When people generally think of Kingdom Hearts music, usually one of two people will come to their mind. More casual fans or those who know the series from word of mouth will most likely think of J-pop singer Utada Hikaru, responsible for the opening and ending songs of the main games, such as Simple and Clean from the first installment and Sanctuary from Kingdom Hearts 2. Good luck looking up Kingdom Hearts cover on YouTube and getting anything but covers of these themes or Dearly Beloved on the first few pages, because they are that well known by the general audience. However, those who have played the games will be more familiar with the creations of the series' main composer, Yoko Shimomura, who did pretty much 99% of the soundtrack in the first few games. She is responsible for example, iconic tracks such as Dearly Beloved and most of the important character and battle themes in every game up until Birth by Sleep. As time went on, the series' soundscape and musical scale grew, giving breath for new composers to join the fray. Not only that, but since as early as the first game, there have been other people responsible for example, orchestral arrangements of existing tracks, and those arrangers have also gradually been received as contributors to the actual soundtrack of the games. Welcome to the very first episode of Sound Ideas. My name is Keynote, and for every episode of this series, I'll be joined by special guests to discuss the music of this dearly beloved game series. For this debuting episode, I'll be joined by someone else to discuss many of the different musicians involved in the series, their involvement in it, and how their work varies. Start recording! Okay, here we go. Sound Ideas, Episode 1. We are rolling. Welcome, everyone.
Be confident.
Yeah,
I believe you.
I am confident. Okay, hi. This is a thing I'm making. It's called Sound Ideas, and it's a video series where I invite people to talk about Kingdom Hearts music, and yeah, that's me. I'm Keynote, by the way. I have a channel, and I do some Kingdom Hearts music stuff. It's not important to whatever this is. And right now, I guess the concept of this whole thing is where I'm gonna invite people, like guests, to like talk about different themes. And today we have our first episode and our first guest, who is mysterious right now, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself. So yeah.
Hey, it's me. What have I done in engaged community? I run a channel right now called Green Requiem that analyzes the whole Kingdom Hearts score, and we've got videos up to BBS, so that's pretty exciting. I'm also the pianist for Project Estati, and I've attended a lot of Kingdom Hearts events, so I feel like I'm pretty qualified for Kingdom Hearts music. But we'll let this podcast be the judge of that.
All right. I think. Wait. I just realized my fan was on this entire time. But whatever.
Yo.
Let's keep rolling.
Okay.
All right. I think we are ready to have your grand face reveal. So without further ado, here is guest number 1, David Russell. What's up, David?
What's up?
You're eating bagels. That is absolutely okay.
What's up?
So today, David, I invited you so that we can talk about all the different composers and arrangers that are involved in the music of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, there's a lot of like misconceptions about the composers. Let's
Right.
clear some stuff up.
So okay, so since you already mentioned that, what is something you would like everyone to know from the get-go?
Oh, so I think that like one of the biggest sort of misconceptions in general regarding the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, and I see this a lot on like Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook and all those social medias, is that like everyone credits Shimomura for kind of everything, in the same way that people credit like Nomura for everything regarding Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And while she's done, like the huge majority of it, like 80% of it, a lot of that credit also belongs to the two other compositional collaborators that were brought on for BBS, who are Takehara Ishimoto and Tsuyoshi Sekito. And not to mention just those two, like there's a host of like 20 people that worked on the Kingdom Hearts 3 soundtrack. And Shimomura has a bunch of arranger friends who she calls on frequently for her like previous albums like Dramatica and Memoria. So like there's a whole like web of people who work on the soundtrack essentially.
Right.
So that's number 1. That's about it.
In the intro to this video, I also mentioned how a lot of people attribute, like, especially people who are unfamiliar with the soundtrack in general, they attribute like, oh, that song's simple and clean, right? That's the that's the entirety of the
And yeah,
soundtrack.
that's
And
another thing. Friggin' people saying like I love the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, and then saying like Simple and Clean is my favorite song. Like, oh no, come on.
absolutely
That kills me.
not to discredit the work of Hotada Hikaru, because like
Yeah,
she's also pretty great. But I
she's
don't think,
good, and then she also did like 4 songs total for the whole series. So
yeah, like
I love.
if we analyze the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts score in the series, I don't think she really represents it very well. Like, of course, being the composer to like the freaking title theme of the main games is something pretty cool, and it is considered like the main theme, right, of Kingdom Hearts. Especially like I remember there were even some trailers for KH3 which were like, oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 main theme, don't think twice. I was like, yeah, I guess, but
The main theme is dearly beloved. I
there
promise you.
I swear to God, there are some people who still think Utada Hikaru did like the actual instrumental soundtrack of the games as well, which is crazy to
Kills
me.
me. This kills me.
Uh,
I don't like that. Anyway,
but
yeah.
but I
Praise to Yoko Shimomura, who does most of the work.
yeah
I love her work a lot. Basically all of her work.
yeah I can agree to that. I am a Shimomura stan. I absolutely am infatuated with her work, and like I guess I dedicate my entire music non-existing career to worshiping her.
My whole career.
uh,
She does good stuff.
so while we are talking about that, we mentioned there were some other complementary arrangers that that Shimomura invites, I guess. I'm not sure if she's the one who invites them, but they are also involved with the series in a way. And one of those is someone who doesn't really do that much stuff in the games, but is called Kaoru Wada. That is the person who usually makes the orchestral versions of Utada's music for Kingdom Hearts. So basically, like simple and clean I guess Hikari orchestral version and Sanctuary orchestral version and Don't Think Twice orchestral version. I'm not sure if Karuwada did Face My Fears for the orchestra, but
He
guess.
Yeah, he did. And he did the all the credits medleys for all the songs.
Oh yeah,
So
that's right.
he's pretty big boy.
So he does like
Pretty
one or
money.
two tracks per big game, and that's it.
Mhm.
Well,
that too, but he's started getting more orchestration and arrangement roles as the games like moved into more live stuff. Like I think I can't remember what exactly he did for KH3, but he did a couple KH3 arrangements as well.
oh, I didn't know that. Actually,
I have
let's
to
check
find
that
it.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that he did Don't Think Twice, and I guess Face My Fears.
Yeah. Both
Oh,
of those.
yeah, okay, those are the two I see here that he did. Maybe he did the credits, I guess. And that's all I can think.
And also,
Actually,
yeah,
no.
the King.
He is not listed as the arranger for whatever the credits theme is in KH3. That's Yoko Shimomura, which is crazy. But he did
What?
do Hikari orchestral version for KH3, which is a new version as well.
Who did
Hikari.
the credits medley for KH3?
Yoko Shimomura, which also kind of surprises me.
The arrangement? That's
Yeah.
crazy. 6:15. Let me make sure.
At least that's what it says here in the Kingdom Hearts database, which is also a website everyone should visit because it's pretty cool.
Oh wow, that might be the first time in the whole series she's actually arranged the credits medley. That's really fun.
I wonder if she didn't do the
maybe
credits medley for DDD.
maybe she like arranges these, but the orchestration is Kawawada. Like the literal placement of which instrument plays what stuff
I guess, maybe.
is Kawawada. Which we don't know officially what these credits are like in their entirety yet. Like they're on the website, but they're not like they're not gonna list the orchestration.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they kind of do list a few orchestration. Okay, move this whole point. Never mind.
Yeah, okay, anyway, so we mentioned there were, I mean, I guess you mentioned that besides Shimomura, there are two main composers in the Kingdom Hearts series, Takehara Ishimoto and Sekito, I forgot his first name, but
Tsuyoshi Sekito. Yeah.
him. Say
You can
something
tell
about
their
those guys.
sound because you can tell like which ones they do because and I won't talk about like their style of arrangement because I'm gonna try and keep it positive, but Sekito's arrangements are typically like pretty brass focused. Like you'll hear a solo trumpet or horn or whatever playing the main melody most of the time in his stuff. He also writes a lot of like electronic pieces, which a lot of people give Ishimoto credit for. Like if they hear an electronic piece, it's automatically an Ishimoto, which is not hardly ever the case in the Kingdom Hearts series.
I guess that's true.
But yeah, Ishimoto did a lot of tracks like Majestic Wings, Fresh Fruits Balls, Black Powder, and a lot of DDD tracks. Ishimoto in particular did a lot of BBS tracks. He did 8 tracks for BBS. He did all of Vanitas' tracks. He did. Oh shoot! Help me out with some Ishimoto's. I don't remember a lot about.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, he did Dice and Shine.
Eternal Moments.
I guess.
Dice and Shine. Yeah. Yeah, and he did a lot of the battle tracks for KH3. So his style is more like if you ever hear like a solo violin that sounds sampled, that's kind of his thing. Yep. And Yoko Shimomura, you can kind of tell her style because she likes to feature oboe a whole lot and piano a whole lot. People like to give her the sort of credit with like strings and piano. Like string and piano hell is the classic Shimomura sound. But it's more for me. It's like the clever use of woodwinds is more like her thing. So
yeah, she seems like she's a very good orchestrator, I guess. Like she really knows how to use each instrument to its advantage, and she's not afraid to like do that, like to go off her traditional style. She does that a lot. Like she seems very playful and out of her comfort zone, which is, or I guess everywhere.
Especially
everything
when she
is
uses
her
like
zone.
acoustic guitar. That's the best. More acoustic guitar, more pieces.
I remembered another Ishimoto track from Birth by Sleep. I guess several. All the unversed battle themes are Ishimoto, I guess. So
no,
really,
they are Shimomura. I think Unforgettable is Shimomura, and then The Tumbling is Shimomura.
Are you
and,
sure?
Extreme Encounters are Shimomura.
Wow.
But let me see if I can remember which Ishimoto battle tracks.
I thought The Tumbling was... Actually, no, that's probably Shimomura. But I thought... What was that one that was remixed for KH3?
For KH3, shoot. I couldn't tell you.
It plays in the freaking Monstropolis boss.
Is it Unforgettable?
Oh yeah, Unforgettable. I swear to God, I thought that one was Ishimoto, but I guess we're learning something new every day in the middle of.
We can look that up in the KH3 thing here.
Oh, actually, you're right.
So Unforgettable is 311. So who did 311?
311.
Oh yeah. So that was composed by Shimomura and arranged by Yuko Komiyama.
Wow, I thought that was an Ishimoto composition. Actually, never mind. I guess he didn't do anything good for Birth by Sleep.
He did. I love Dice and Shine. Dice and Shine's pretty friggin' baller. But unfortunately, it's for the mini game command board summary screen, so it's not really like you won't hear it unless you sort of explore everything in Birth by Sleep. Yeah.
Oh man.
I actually love Sekito a whole lot. I think he's now approached Shimomura's style pretty well. Like you still know stuff as his music, but like his musical style of like, I don't know if it's really right to call it a style, but like you can sort of tell the experience of a musician by like how well they do a melody and a harmony and the percussion. And like all the time with pretty much every one of Sekito's songs is he has like an amazing melody and like really complex harmony, and he does the Shimomura 3-3-2 rhythms all the time. So it's getting harder and harder to tell like the difference between them, especially because Sekito also loves playing oboe in his compositions. So he doesn't play it.
I think it's very sometimes it's very cool. I don't know. Sekito's compositional style is usually very upbeat in Kingdom Hearts. I guess that's what he Like
There was
he's
that one
usually
interview that like Shimomura said, I thought I was the only one that could do a happy battle song.
yeah.
And then she was like praising Sekito for like his DDD work. My heart was full.
I find it funny
Like,
that,
I
that
love you, Sekito.
both him and Shimomura have this idea that Kingdom Hearts music, or battle music in particular, has this obligation to be cheerful and upbeat. And sometimes I thought that was kind of obnoxious when it came from Sekiro, because it seems kind of like, oh, it has to be happy, so I have to make it happy. But
Oh,
I guess
see what you mean.
I felt that way for his stuff in DDD, and I don't feel that way now, because I think he's understanding that it's not obnoxiously positive, but just like
I see what you mean by like thinking that Sekito is like that comment may have been reductionist to say like Shimomura's sound for Kingdom Hearts battle themes is happy battle themes. That's not like clearly that's not the case with like No Surrender from KH3 or the other amazing one she wrote. I can't remember what it's called. No Encounter.
Eye of
The
the
Encounter.
Storm. Eye of the Storm. No
Eye of
Surrender
Storm,
and
yeah,
Eye
that's
of the Storm are the two new awesome Shimomura tracks from
I love those songs so much.
KH3. Yeah, oh, I agree. They're awesome. Just to be, I guess, inform the audience, No Surrender is the one that plays in the Marshmallow fight in Arendelle, and also I think it plays for the spaceship boss in Toy Box, the first one where you're rescuing the aliens. And Eye of the Storm plays
I think you're
against
right.
Davy Jones and Dark Baymax. So those are
You are
awesome
very
tracks.
good at like knowing exactly when they play. I have to write a whole spreadsheet.
I guess I just the ones that
That's
stand
very
out to
funny.
me, I just remember. There are a lot of them that I either don't, like I know where they play, but I don't know their names. I guess that happens. I think you're much better at memorizing the titles, which is great.
Well, maybe. I feel like I'm pretty good at like finding stuff in the songs. More
Yeah.
than I am knowing when they play. Like
That's also
I
true.
listen to these so often just like without the context of the game, just like on my runs or whatever. That's how I digest the Shimomura. Another thing we should maybe talk about is how KH3 is like KH3 kind of introduced a lot of new guitar work for the series, which is absolutely new for the whole series. Let's see. Ishimoto had that acoustic guitar for Port Royal. He also had the electric guitar in the Hero's Garage.
Oh,
and
I guess.
yeah, and the Vanitas themes were newly like rock metal like versions. And Remind had a bunch of arrangements, not by Ishimoto, but like what's his name, Yuki.
Oh, I have that here. It is freaking, where is it? I lost it. No.
I can pull it up.
Yuki Kishida? Yeah, that's him. Yuki Kishida.
Yeah, Yuki Kishida. He did the metal versions of Saix, Limit Cut Battle, and Shion, Limit Cut Battle.
And he also did
which,
Young Xehanort, which doesn't have a guitar, but is kind of like electronic.
So that goes to the point of like not assuming that people who make electronic music are Ishimoto or Sekito. Like, no, every single person can do it. If you can orchestrate, you can make electronic music. But this goes into my whole philosophy of like, if you know orchestration, you can make music regardless. Yeah. So, whatever.
Since you already brought up Yuki Kishida, I thought it would be interesting to mention that for Remind, they didn't even call Ishimoto back to do a single track. And they got this new guy, Yuki Kishida, who hasn't done any work for the series, if I'm correct.
I can look into that.
He wasn't in the KH3 base composers. Like, he didn't do anything for base KH3. He was hired just for Remind, which I find very, very interesting. And I think he might be the only one who is new for Remind as well, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, he's not credited anywhere. I mean, we don't have the full credits yet, but this is interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. He doesn't even have like a blue link here, so I can't click his name and like find what he's done. But yeah, he did the guitar, the freaking rock guitar. Maybe he's a friend of Sekito or Ishimoto. Or maybe Ishimoto was busy doing like his the World Ends With You anime
Oh, that's a good.
arrangements or something.
Yeah, that's a good bet. I bet that was probably like something like that. But I
He
really.
like Shimomura is freelance now, so like they have to they
That's
have to
true.
call him and to get a contract. And so
But I find it kind of interesting that really everyone else who was involved in Limit Cut um, has been involved with the series in one way or another, and they are all pretty like good arrangers, which is like obvious. It's obvious when you listen to the soundtrack, but they, I don't know, their previous arrangements have also been kind of outstanding in a way, especially when it
yeah,
comes to, I guess, Sachiko Miyano and Natsumi Kamioka.
oh god, we're gonna talk about those two amazing ladies who
Can we talk
have been
about them?
orchestrating since 2008. I love them so much. Sachiko Miyano and Natsumi Kamioka are two of, I guess, Shimomura's best friends, because they have done work for the series for the last 12 years or so, at least. Like, I don't know any further than Dramatica. But Natsumi Kamioka did all the arrangements for Dramatica, by the way, which is what? She's amazing. She did the best version of the study that's ever been arranged, which is the Dramatica version. And she did that The Other Promise, and she did the 13th Anthology, which is the big combo of all the organization themes, which you have a point to talk about.
Okay, where
Talk
is it?
about your talk about how she did in Remind, that she included those cool parts from
Oh yeah,
Dramatica.
I have to do that. So yeah, freaking Natsumi Kamioka is amazing. She did like this awesome arrangement called the 13th Anthology for this album in 2008 called Dramatica, or Dramatica, I'm not sure how you freaking pronounce it. But it's like this agglomeration of a bunch of Organization 13 themes from throughout the series. So we got 13th Struggle, we got another side, we got Lord of the Castle, we got everything there, like somewhere.
It's mind-blowing to me that she did all 15 of these orchestrated. Like, the amount of work must have been like, that's more work than I did for freaking Dark. Like,
Yeah.
God, that's crazy to me. But I guess that's what a professional does. She's amazing. And she did all the piano, not all, but she did a ton of the piano collections arrangements too.
Oh yeah, she and
crazy.
Sachiko Miyano were, I think they were the only arrangers in piano collections. I'm not sure if there was anyone else. Actually, there might have been. But I'm not feeling like checking that right now. They're the main ones.
I think you're right. I think they were the only two.
And they're both
But
amazing.
I can check that too. I'll do that.
They were both called back for Limit Cut, and I am so glad they were, because they brought like some of the best freaking arrangements. So Natsumi Kamioka, she did freaking Lark Scenes, 13th Struggle, and what was it? I forgot the other ones. She did Terra Xehanort's Dismiss for Limit Cut.
I'm gonna make sure you're right. So you're saying Sachiko Miyano?
No, Natsumi Kamioka.
Okay.
She did
Natsumi Kamioka did Lark Scene, 13th Struggle, Dismiss, Terra Xehanort, and Escorta del Ignoto for Semnis.
Oh, that's right. She also did Semnis. Oh, I haven't looked into that one yet. But for both Lark Scene and Terra Xehanort, she borrows passages from her arrangements from Dramatica, which I think is amazing. So, basically, Lark Scene's 13th Struggle from Remind, it's just a sped up and key changed version of the section in the 13th Anthology that plays 13th Struggle. That's kind of a mouthful of a sentence, but basically she took the exact same thing she wrote like freaking how many years? 12 years ago, Jesus. She took the exact same arrangement and she just like transposed it and sped it up a little, and then she expanded on it, which I think is super cool, because it like, if you are paying attention to the soundtrack of these games, this is the kind of thing that pays off, because it's like, oh man, I know this is that arrangement, and it's so cool.
I've heard this before.
Yeah, she does the exact same thing. Sorry.
She's very good at like reusing, and this isn't like an indictment on her, but like the way she has used stuff from her previous arrangements into like this new context, so that people can experience what maybe they wouldn't have experienced by listening to this offshoot album that I don't think. I mean, I think a lot of people have heard Dramatica, but I'm not sure if like every Kingdom Hearts fan knows about Dramatica.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really neat to see how she like repurposes that. It's super cool. I'd like to know if she did anything in the 13th anthology that related to her Zemnis.
Yeah, that's something I
That'd be
haven't
super
looked
cool.
into it, because I know she also does a callback to her arrangement of the study in the Terrazian Art Dismiss, which, um, like, it includes this passage that is almost exactly the same as this one part from the Dramatica arrangement, and
Mhm.
it's also a part that's not in the freaking original Dismiss, so it's pretty much like guaranteed to be a reference to her other arrangement, because even though the instruments are different and there's no choir, it's like it's the same like parts playing, it's the same, like it's different instruments doing the same things other instruments were doing, if that
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
It,
very clear, but
it's a clear sort of connection because like of the absence of the dun da da dun da da, which is
yeah,
part of Dismiss. That's replaced with literally the Dramatica version of whatever plays there, and it's it's super nice. I
yeah,
like it a lot. I pretty much associate Natsumi Kamioka with like the Roxas arranger for Kingdom Hearts because like she did the Piano Collection's Roxas arrangements and she did the 13th or the other Promise for Dramatica. So like in my mind, she's just been associated with arranging Roxas forever. And
wait,
I think
did she
she did
really
the.
do the Piano Collections version? Because I swear to god I looked into that just the other day because I was curious, and I found that it
Let
was
me
such a
check.
Komiano.
I hope I didn't say something wrong. It might it might be Miano. Let me check really quick.
Because I was very curious
Um,
about that, and I was looking for other references that might have been made between arrangements, and I saw that she freaking talked about. I mean, the Piano Collections version calls back to an
oh,
original
you're right.
part
You're
from.
right. That's my mistake.
Don't worry,
Um,
it calls back to this original part from Natsumi's arrangement for Dramatica, which is like, yeah, there is the other promise in Cage 2, but the Dramatica version adds this entire like new climax to the piece, which was unseen before that arrangement. And the Piano Collections version specifically calls back to that new part, so it's not made from the original The Other Promise, it's made from Natsumi Kamioka's version of The Other Promise. So that's kind of cool. It's like Yoko
yeah,
Shimomura
yeah.
made The Other Promise, then Natsumi Kamioka expanded on it, and then Sachiko Miyano like interpreted Natsumi's.
Interpreted Kamioka's version for
Yeah.
the Piano Collections. Oh,
So
that's so fun. I love how like they're the three comrades just working on
yeah,
Roxas. I freaking love it.
I love calling them the holy trinity of the soundtrack, because they are just like the goddesses of this whole thing.
in in my mind, like Miyano is just so strongly associated with Shion. And I don't know. I guess I just give Kamioka the I guess honor of being like the Roxas interpreter of the score, but like Miyano, I think has arranged like a ton of Shion arrangements. The ones for the orchestra and the one for the Piano Collection's Field and Battle,
Yeah,
um, and First Breath. So and well, no, she didn't do the one for Remind. That was Yuki Kishida.
yeah, but she did like
But
everything
yeah,
else.
she's super. If you want to listen to any of Miyano's work, and this is important because Shimomura keeps calling Miyano and Kamioka to work on like her stuff for like Cage 3 and like all of her side projects and all these orchestras. And you'll hear their work if you go and listen to these like um, external
Yeah,
ways of consuming Kingdom Hearts media.
I think freaking like the amount of music that is like from Kingdom Hearts but is not played in the games, that is just phenomenal, is like
Mhm.
there's so much. There's so much
We have
like
to talk about like all the external music in the Kingdom Hearts games that aren't part of like Shimomura's brain, like that were just dragged into the series.
you wanna freaking do
Like
that
the
right now? We can just talk about that.
oh, I'd be into it, yeah. Like I I think, and I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but I think it is. Um, BBS was the first one to use an outside recording, which was Dramatica from just study from Dramatica.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, obviously there was also like One Winged Angel, but that was actually arranged by Shimomura for KH1 and KH2. What other music was outside?
There's Piano Collection's version of Roxas and The Other Promise that was used in the Recoded movie. And I think this one is pretty interesting myself because it's not really... It's actually a combination of two different arrangements from the Piano Collections, Roxas and The Other Promise. And it is like cut in a different way than the arrangements actually are in the actual album. It starts from the climax of The Other Promise in the Piano Collections version, and then it transitions into the middle of Roxas, which is supposed to be played before The Other Promise in the album, and then it loops Roxas in a way that it doesn't loop in the actual sheet music. So I think it's pretty interesting that they like rearranged these two pieces in a way that fits perfectly with the scene. And it was like
Praise
also
be to
like
Sajiko Miyano for that arrangement.
It's so
for
good.
both those arrangements.
It's so good. I wonder if
It's so cool.
I wonder if she is responsible for the restructure of that in the Recoded movie.
I would say maybe. I mean, I don't know, but maybe no, because I think the scenario writers are the ones who decide where tracks play and how they're made and how they fit the scene and stuff like that. I honestly don't know if Shimomura like chooses which scene her music goes to, which leads to like the inconsistencies of like Rowdy Rumble playing weird times and
yeah.
other strange, like Missing You playing for like Simba at the Oasis.
Oh, that one's weird, but like I guess it makes sense in a way. Like he is missing him, but that's not what the track was established to be about.
We could talk about like inconsistencies in the soundtrack, which is kind of what I've been doing in my whole video series. But
oh gosh,
I mean that's not the whole point of my video series. Not that it's like a negative thing. But
we'd be talking about like this forever.
What other tracks that are like reused from outside sources? Oh, we got to talk about the Sekito one that actually is from
Oh my
Nakayama.
Oh my god! Yes, please talk about that. Oh my gosh.
So there's a track in KH3 called Zero Hour Rescue?
Zero Hour The Rescue. Yeah.
It's credited composed by and arranged by Tsuyoshi Sekito, who's one of the three composers for the Kingdom Hearts series now. Actually, that track is composed in 2012 by a person that I don't know anything about. What's his name? Nakayama?
Oh, freaking hell, I forgot.
It's a long 4-syllable first name and 4-syllable last name.
Look, I'm still not convinced that this was not a Sekito composition, because he did work in that game, and maybe he just like forgot that he did this track. I don't know.
I think that might be true. Like maybe he just forgot. But like, so the point was, this song is actually from a 2012 mobile Final Fantasy spin-off game called Imaginary Range, and it played for like the Sphere Bounce mobile game part of that game, and it's funny. I don't know. It's interesting that was like pulled into Kingdom Hearts 3. And this track plays, by the way, Zero Hour Escape or Zero Hour Rescue plays for the rescuing Big Hero 6 in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. That one caught us by surprise because we found out about it like accidentally, and
found the name Yasuhiro Yamanaka did the original composition, I think, for that track. Unless the blogs I've read are wrong.
Which honestly,
it might be Sekito or it might be this person. They're friends, so it's not like a big deal, I guess. But I'm so interested to know the story behind that.
Maybe they both kind of worked together, and then he just didn't mind that Sekito took the credit for it in KH3, since like he took the credit for it.
As long as I get the royalties, then they'll be fine.
Yeah, like yeah, sure, why not?
I like that the epilogue is just titled Epilogue. This is unrelated to what we were just talking about, but come on, Shimomura.
It's funny. I like how the Guardians of Light theme is just called the Guardians of Light.
Mm-hmm.
I
Master of
think it's
Masters is
cool.
called the Master of Masters.
Yeah,
It makes sense though.
if we're gonna
Riku's
start
called Riku, so
listing character themes, we're just gonna be here all day listing every character as a theme.
we can maybe talk about how like Thermosphere from Einhander is
Oh
is
yeah,
in Cage 3,
from
which is neat.
Kenichiro Fukui or Fukui, I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Is that the only thing he did for Cage 3?
Yeah, absolutely the only thing he did. I think he just came
Is it
back
good
to rearrange his own
just to
track
do that?
and get money for it. Like, who wouldn't do that? I'm glad
Makes
they
sense.
got him to arrange this. Like,
Yeah,
he
it's
did a very
super
good
cool.
job.
I love the arrangement. When was Einhander made originally? It must be like
1998.
2000.
I don't
Oh
know.
gosh.
It's old.
So 20 years of musical advancement.
Like,
and
I'm not
this is
sure.
the
I
end
just
result.
guessed the date, but it. Me actually. Oh, my computer.
Because I think it was a
exploded.
Square Soft game, so it must have been 2004 or not
Einhander
before that.
release date. Anyway, it's cool. I love that it's here. 1997. It's even earlier than I thought.
Jeez. I can't think of any more Page 3 tracks that are like from outside sources.
Oh,
I
actually,
can talk about like what?
the what was it? No, never mind. I was gonna say the Hikari orchestral version was because it's listed here as World of Trace, but World of Trace only came out after Cage 3 came out, so that wouldn't make sense.
I guess they're just referring to like the soundtrack being released after that show.
Yeah, it's weird because they do have a new version of Hikari instrumental at the very end of Cage 3. And it's this one.
And it was newly recorded, I think, by the Tokyo Philharmonic, who did the original
Yeah,
Simple and Clean recording.
and they played it in the
Oops, I just
orchestra, and in the orchestra they called it Kingdom Trace Orchestra Instrumental Version. So since they are the same version, I guess they just had to call it that in the soundtrack, even though it came out before
Yeah.
World of Trace, which is kind of interesting.
Makes sense, I guess.
Uh,
I think that might be it for Cage 3. Cage 3 is very interesting, like in that a lot of the tracks were arranged by. I say like
Randos.
that's it for Cage 3 as I continue to talk about Cage 3. 0.2, the arranger for a lot of the tracks in 0.2 wasn't actually Yoko Shimomura. Like she composed the songs, but the person who arranged them, like made the music sound the way it does, is what's her name?
was it Yuko Komiyama?
That sounds right.
Is it the one who
is
did
it-
Luxord and Zigbar arrangements?
I think so. Yeah, because she also did a lot of the cutscene music for Cage 3. Not like
Yeah.
all of it, but like a lot of it.
She did all of the Toy Story event cutscenes and also the Tension Rising version that plays in Toy Story.
And she's most well known for Monster Hunter, if anybody recognizes that name. I don't know that game at all, so
I really hope we
But-
got the name right and we're talking about the right person. I think
Yuko
so.
Komiyama.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess these are all just like Yoko Shimomura's Capcom friends,
Yeah.
basically.
Street Fighter
Which is
buddies.
super fun. Which is kind of weird because like Shimomura wasn't the like soundtrack director for Cage 3. It was
Right.
Keiji Kawamori for Cage 3, which is interesting. Like, hello. He's always been with the series, but more in like a synthesizer operator kind of role. But that said, he did get to arrange a track for BBS, the Monstrous Monstro Arena Battle version, which is cool.
That is really interesting.
And he plays
like,
bass for a lot of the arrangements.
He just seems to be very in the shadows when it comes to the, like I've seen his name thrown around, but it's very hard to find out what he actually does. Like,
Yeah.
what does being a
I
sound
know he's a
director
bassist,
mean?
and I know he can program synths, and that's about it.
Cool. I mean,
And he used to be in the Black Mages, I think. So
that's good enough. So maybe we should
I
talk
may
about.
just be spouting like huge amounts of misinformation, but I think this is true.
Look,
Double
it's
check
fine.
everything I say.
It can't be worse than the misinformation of like just not knowing any of this stuff. So, so at least
Yeah,
we're.
it's so if like the takeaway from this sort of like conversation is Shimamura is great, but she didn't do the actual arrangements for a lot of the tracks you
Love,
appreciate.
yeah.
But that's good enough, I think.
So,
That said, you should still love Shimamura. She did compose these pieces for the most part. So, oh, we can talk
potentially,
about Yasunori Nishiki.
what did he do? I forgot.
He did.
Nishiki.
He's the composer of Octopath Traveler, which is how you get his
Oh,
name, and he
freaking
did
hell,
Forze's
yes.
Finale. Asperta
Yes.
di Xehanort is the fan name of the triple Xehanort
Forza
so.
Finale is a freaking phenomenal theme. Look, I was gonna like play all the music like as we talk and transition to the freaking now playing screen, but that's not gonna
Maybe
work.
you can like, maybe you can edit it in. You can like fade out.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna
Cut
be
this part
hard
out.
to like cut out like make the little banner. I think I'm just gonna freaking like play the music and add like little text box saying now playing this. Uh, but whatever. Yeah, Forza Finale. It's such a good track. Oh my god. And this dude
It's
only
so.
did this track, this one freaking track for the entire
This is
game.
the only one. He comes in for KH3 and then composes this masterpiece that like everybody who
Everyone
played KH3
loves.
is like, this is the best track in KH3. Like he composes this masterpiece from Shimamura's original compositions, arranges this masterpiece, I should say, gives it to Kawamori and yeets out. And he's just like, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Just like that's the only thing he does for KH3. I hope he comes back for KH4 and like other big AAA
Yeah.
projects.
There,
He's so cool.
he was like one of the two people who came in for like a single track and fucked off. It was him and freaking Yuki Hirose who did the little Flen theme that plays in Tangled in Corona. Like he plays she did or yeah, she did like one freaking track, which is the funny meme song, and left. And I don't understand like why they hired these people to do one track.
I was hoping so badly it would be called like Happy Hair Day Flan version.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. No, it's just called. I don't even know what it's called. Oh,
It's
it's
like
Say
Say
Cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Say Cheese. Oh. I mean that's fine, but it's like why? I don't know.
Can we talk about like how Tangled has both Yoko Shimomura and Sachiko Miyano working together for basically all the music in that world?
Really? Actually, I have here that Shotaro Shima did a lot of the music for the cutscene music for Tangled. And for
Did Miyano do the battle theme for the march?
no, that was
Arrangement.
Natsuki. Natsuki
Oh,
Miyoka.
cool. Okay.
I
Never mind.
think. I think. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was her. Let me check.
I like hear Miyano and I hear Kamioka and I'm like, good. And then
Yeah.
I just like forget all the things that they do.
Okay, I'm right. It's Natsumi Kamioka who did Swimming
Okay.
Free into the Forest Deep. That's a long title. And
I really love that track a lot. We should maybe talk about like what their previous roles were in game, like their careers, I guess. I think Miyano worked in Metroid, and I mean I can look this up.
yeah, I honestly don't know very much about that. I know their roles in Kingdom Hearts, which is they both worked in the piano collections. They both worked in the orchestras, I think. And
Yeah.
Natsumi worked in Dramatica and maybe Memoria. I'm not sure if she.
Oh, I
arranged
don't
for
know
that.
who did Memoria. I think that might have been a mixture of the two.
Sachiko Miyano did
But
do
that would be-
Vectors to the Heavens from Memoria, which means she was involved in that, but I don't know about Natsumi.
We should Karawada did a track. So Karawada is the one we talked about. Did the Kingdom Hearts orchestra versions of Utada's intro songs
Yeah.
and a few of the credits medleys, like the BBS Link to the Future. He also did Somnus for Dramatica, the
Oh.
orchestration.
I didn't know that.
I think. Let me make sure. I don't want to say any more wrong things. Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah, orchestration by Karawada. Cool. It was composed. So Somnus, we got to talk about Somnus
Yeah.
and its role in Kingdom Hearts. But Somnus has like such a weird history, and it's relevant to like the Kingdom Hearts fans of like modern era. So it was originally by Shimomura in 2008 for Dramatica, and it was composed by Shimomura, but it was arranged by Karawada. So this was originally intended for Final Fantasy Versus 13, which was canceled and rebranded into Final Fantasy 15. So that was in there. That's all. We can go into like the Final Fantasy 15 history, but relevant to KH3 is that Somnus appears in the final track of the game in the secret movie as just a few piano notes that anybody who played Final Fantasy 15 would recognize or
Yeah.
listen to Dramatica would recognize, and it's bonkers to me. By the way, Nomura did the lyrics for Somnus. Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know
Fun
that.
fact.
Actually, I'm sure someone's told me that before, but I always forget about it.
He didn't like literally sing them, but I guess he wrote them because he's credited here. The vocalist was Andrea Hopkins, who I have no confirmation for because this track's not in the soundtrack for KH3, but I think she sung the vocals during the scene where Yozora talked to Sora right before their battle
Yeah.
in Requiem.
Oh, that would be such a cool like detail to bring them, like to bring her back for that. Ah,
Of course, we'll never know because
yeah, we'll never
that
find
track's
out.
not included, but
Hey, we can headcanon
I would-
about it. So
yeah. She's cool. I don't know what else Andrea Hopkins has done because I'm solely focused on Shimomura's career, but yeah,
So here's a
she's
cool
cool.
little detail. Shotaro Shima, who did the cutscene music for Tangled and some of the Frozen ones as well, he did the arrangement for Shrouding Dark Cloud in Toy Box, the one that sounds like kind of electronic, and when you during the Gigas fight. And also the freaking what was it called? I guess Tension Rising for Tangled. And those were just like the only two battle themes that he did. But I find it kind of interesting that they had some of these people responsible for both cutscene and battle music. I don't know why. I
As a
find that kind
treat,
of
you may
interesting.
have one battle track.
Yeah, they get to do like one per like each person who like there are some composers who seem to be attributed to specifically certain worlds. So we mentioned Yuko Komiyama did he did both Luxord and Zygobar's limit cut fights, but he also made the event music for Toy Story and one battle track called Tension Rising in the main game, which is the one that plays when
That's
you're
the one.
yeah against
That's the one for Tangled, right?
no, this one is the Toy Story one. It's the one that plays
Oh, okay.
in the doll boss, Angelic Ember. I think it's
Why
called
does
Tension
that play
Rising
there? Why
Angelic
does that
Ember
play there?
version. I don't know, but it's like it's cool. I don't mind it there.
I guess I can kind of like understand it as like maybe the doll was a vessel possessed by
Yeah.
darkness, and so the nobody battle theme Tension Rising makes sense for this. I don't know.
I can't speak. I can't speak. God,
Nerd.
narratively, it doesn't make that much sense, but also like it fits the fight so well because it's kind of like a freaking. That's I think the closest thing we have to a scary battle theme track in the entire series, and that fight was kind of terrifying in a way. So
I don't know. I think the corrupted or like, I mean, I guess it's specifically a KH2 Pirates battle theme, but like Knights of the Cursed is creepy as
Hmm.
heck.
I don't
Yeah,
even
but that would have
remember
been weird.
much. Yeah, that.
Knights of the Curse has that cool like anvil sound,
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. But yeah,
or is it a chime? I gotta re-listen to it. It's good.
look,
KH2 version slaps.
we gotta do some hot takes here.
Oh, I got some hot takes. Why do they keep composing new songs for the Disney originals? Like He's a Pirate is now just an Ishimoto original for KH3, and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is now Peaceful Hearts for Zero.
Bibbidi Bobbidi Gone.
And bye. And I guess if we get Toy Box in a future Kingdom Hearts game again, they're going to replace, I think, He's Got a Friend in Me, or You've Got a Friend in Me, with some new Shimomura
Oh,
composition.
I hope not.
Because they keep doing this thing where they introduce like a Disney song and then replacing it with a Shimomura original. They keep doing it, or just an original, because Ishimoto did the He's a Pirate.
Oh, they
Did
haven't.
the not He's a Pirate for
They haven't done that for Halloween Town. Thank God. And I hope they never.
Oh,
do.
you're right. You're right. That's true.
Halloween Town
okay,
is like the
maybe this
exception to
point
this
isn't-
rule. But
Maybe this doesn't matter as much.
I
I think it would have been neat to hear like versions of like what would Aladdin have gotten? Arabian Nights
Hmm.
for the field theme.
Honestly,
That would have been cool.
it would have probably been better than what we got.
I don't
Here's
know.
a hot take.
I like the Arabian themes. They're cool.
I like the, I don't know. I liked them at first, but also we heard them so much throughout the years that I wouldn't mind switching them up for something else now and then.
Yeah, I would agree with you only as far as saying like I think Agrabah has been like
Oversaturated.
so well represented in the series.
Wow,
I'm tired.
that's a neat way to put it. Like Olympus got a new battle theme. Why can't we give one for Agrabah as well? You know.
Yeah,
Olympus got
I'd love
freaking
that.
the bunch of battle
Oh!
themes. Got a
We could
field
talk
and
about
battle
how-
theme in Cage 2. Sorry, what?
We can talk about how like the music in Olympus is diegetic to Kingdom Hearts. Like Sora and his
Oh,
friends
gosh.
literally hear the fanfare.
That's
It's
true.
so weird. Like that's now music. The music, their themes is
They
something
acknowledge
the
it.
characters interact with.
They
and, like,
acknowledge the freaking
Sora's
fanfare.
freaking gummy phone theme is his theme. That's so cool.
We got
I
something
love it a
similar
lot.
to this in freaking Dream Drop Distance, where they conduct Dearly Beloved and
Yeah.
Fantasia. I think that's the first time we got something like that.
I didn't know if that was like supposed to be just like for the player, like and maybe the characters were just hearing some other thing, but yeah, I guess you're right. Thinking back on the scene, I think it is.
I mean, given the
also
fact that they are
That's
literally
crazy.
reading the sheet music to Dearly Beloved and playing it,
Yeah.
I think there's
Yeah.
no getting around that they are actually playing Dearly Beloved there.
Yeah. The funny thing is the sheet music is the BBS piano
Yeah.
for
And
Dearly
there's like,
Beloved, but
it's not what's
what they're
playing at all.
conducting is what's actually playing is just a new DDD version of Dearly Beloved. It's not like the DDD title theme, but
Yeah, it's a
it's
new
like-
version for DDD.
it's like the KH1 version that's been slightly rearranged with like a new synth and stuff. It's fun. I like it.
This is like kind of unrelated, but this reminds me of freaking the other Dearly Beloved in Cage 3 that plays in the Secret Forest cutscene, and that it's cut short by the cutscene, and it's like the freaking coolest Dearly Beloved ever. I mean, not the coolest. The coolest one is Melody of Memory. Sorry, everyone else, but
But I don't know. I think DDD is my favorite. But okay.
well, I don't
It
know what it
changes weekly,
is.
though, so-
I don't know what it is about the freaking swing version. It's so good to me. Like, it's amazing. Like, I liked all the other ones, but I could never rank them above each other. But Melody of Memory is like the freaking best. I don't know why. Yeah, it like skyrocketed out of my expectations of what it could be.
It's just I think maybe part of it is like it's the first time that I can think of in the series where like big band jazz is like now
Yeah.
now part of the Kingdom Hearts score. Like it had been. Well, I guess the DDD version was jazzy. But I
It was
wouldn't say it was
waltzy,
big band
not
jazz.
jazzy.
Yeah, waltz. It feels more like ballroom, and then this is like definitely a new genre for the series.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But I was talking
Um,
about the one that plays in the forest cutscene with Kyrie and Lee.
Talk about the connections.
Yeah, I wanna talk about this Dearly Beloved because it's the coolest thing ever, and a lot of people haven't even like heard this version like fully. It freaking plays like it has connections to Roxas's theme, Shion's theme, and Ventus's theme, and I think they all no, they don't all play in the same instrument, but like I think Roxas's is the first one that is referenced in the track, and I think it might play in the strings. I don't remember right now.
I mean, yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've heard
Yeah,
it.
it's been forever since I heard that one. And I even made a video about this, and I got the instruments wrong when I was talking about it in that video somehow. But anyway, it plays Roxas. It plays Shion, but it doesn't play Shion's melody, but it plays the rhythm of her melody in the piano, which is crazy to me, because it's like, this is the kind of subtle reference I live for. It's very clearly meant to represent Shion, but it doesn't sound like Shion at all, which is kind of neat.
I think there's like a literal quote of it. I can't. And you pointed this out in your video forever ago.
Yeah, no, that's
but,
what
like,
I'm.
It literally plays like the melody.
It's not.
Da-da-da-da.
It's not actually the melody, but it's like da 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 da. It's like a major version of it or something.
Oh yeah.
So
It does
it's,
like the very end. That's also in Aqua's
Yeah.
theme.
It
It's fun.
sounds different. but you can tell it's her because of the rhythm, which is very peculiar to her theme. And Vance is the hardest one to spot there because it could just be Roxas, but since Roxas was already quoted before, like it kind of has to be Ven.
What part of Ven is it?
I don't remember right now.
If it quoted like Ven's literal motif, da 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 da.
No, it's not that. It's a freaking it's a freaking like triplet like thing. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay, so maybe it's part of Sora's theme.
Yeah, I don't know, but I see it as Ven because like it would make sense for that to represent like the three.
I know which part you're talking about. That one. Da 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 da.
I couldn't even hear it.
Oh, sorry. Well,
like I only heard like one note. I was like, yeah, that part.
I think you'll be editing this conversation with like the music in the background.
I think I'll do that, yeah. But yeah, it's cool. I just like that theme. It's neat.
I just think she's neat.
Yeah. I think
it's kind of cool that like.
Okay. No, go on, keep going.
I think it's kind of cool that like Destati has never like appeared sort of like in its true form in the series. Like I go on like forever about how many connections in Kingdom Hearts depend on Destati as like foundational material. But Destati itself as a track is never like fully in the series. It's always Dive Into the Heart Destati, which is like the first part, or Fragments of Sorrow, which is a rearranged sort of battle version of the second part.
The closest we got the closest we got to that is the Dramatica version, and it is kind of in Birth by Sleep, but it's not.
Yeah, it's the very like tail end of the Dramatica version, but again, that leaves out the whole first part. So it's cool, and Shimomura said this in an interview.
Actually, keep talking. Keep talking.
So Shimomura said this in an interview too. And I wish I could find it right now, but like it's specifically about Dream Drop Distance. Cat stream. It's specifically about Dream Drop Distance, where she says that Destati is like the dark side of the Kingdom Hearts score.
Hello.
And,
sorry about that.
She's still young.
Yes, it's my cat. She loves me.
I've lost my sort of train of thought, but like Destati's just never appeared in the full, like as its full version in any of the games, and she said that she's made sure that was the case in all games. So it's interesting.
Maybe I'm recording a video. Maybe I should make her maybe I should pick her up and show her, but I can't because my headphone will just fall off. Anyway, you're sweet. Anyway, she just wants to show up, I guess.
Play Dream Eaters right now.
Mimi, I'm gonna actually try to get her up here. I won't.
Here's another conspiracy theory I can talk about with Dream Eaters. The La-Las are sung by the Osaka Children's Choir, and I have a sort of, and this is just a complete guess, I have no idea, but I assume that maybe Shimomura's like daughter is part of that school that got to sing the La-Las for Dream Eaters.
That would be cool. I love these little headcanons we have about the music. I love how my face is just like half in the frame because I'm trying to get my cat to stop scratching the chair.
It might be crazy, and like because Shimomura is extremely private about her private life, like I don't know anything about her family or how old her daughter even is or anything like that, but it would be super fun. She was pregnant with her daughter when she was composing for Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, that would make her around
in 2000. So
or 11. During
she'd be in the right sort of like age, I guess. That's cool. I hope that's the case. I'd love to like interview Shimomura about like all these
about everything,
but I don't speak Japanese. Yeah. Why?
Everything. Why?
Please answer.
Why are you? Why? Just tell me.
Why this?
How?
When are we getting the Piano Collections Volume 3?
Oh my god, that is a question I really want the answer to. Piano Collections is freaking the best, and also I'm so sad that they removed Spyro's channel. Spyro's a channel who uploaded like every single Piano Collection track in like great quality, and it all got taken down.
KH3's old channel has them all uploaded, but they all have like much less views, like
Yeah.
maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or something, as compared to like Spiral's like 2 million
God,
video.
and there were like so many cool comments and like discussions about it too. Like, I remember, I had like this, like I was learning how to play the Xion theme from the piano collections, and I like registered in the comments like how far I was into learning it, and people were like, "Yeah, keep going." And it was like such
You
a
could
cool
do
little, I don't know, a cool interaction that actually like registered there. Which I
I
recorded.
think that's just something that YouTube just doesn't
Yeah.
consider when they delete videos. Like this video is like years old, like a decade old. I don't know why it would suddenly be deleted unless it was for like unless Square Enix requested it for like melody of memory or something. But
I don't know. Look, I would be freaking over the moon if there were like any piano collection tracks in Melody of Memory, because I am, I don't know, I'm a simp for piano collections. It's so good, even though I can't play
I
like
feel like
any of it.
yeah, I feel like it would be very hard to like time the notes to what is essentially whatever 12 rubato performances.
Oh
So,
yeah, you're right.
but they did include the World of Trace, some World of Trace arrangement in Melody of Memory.
You're right.
This is gonna be fun to look back on after the game's released.
They included some
But
the
did
study
include some
from World Tour, which might be the dramatic version just re-recorded for World Tour.
So
Yeah.
I'm interested in how like the timing for that level will
Yeah.
be.
I
Maybe
mean,
it'll be like really weird. Maybe it'll be like KH2 Atlantica.
yeah, I don't. Oh my God, KH2 Atlantica, please no, nothing as bad as that.
Where like the button presses did not line up to the beats of the song.
It's like rhythm games that aren't rhythm games; they're just games.
I mean, maybe it did. I just can't remember. But in 2.5,
it absolutely
like,
did
maybe
not.
the jump to 60 FPS. Okay,
They did
good.
not.
So I remember correctly. I was like hoping maybe it was like the jump to 60 FPS made it weird, but
no, it was just badly made.
It could have been so cool. Like Shimomura and Nomura have interviews where they talk about like how rough Atlantica KH2 was, but like it could have been amazing if like the button presses corresponded to the beat and wasn't just like, I don't know. Maybe it would have just been the same, but like it would have elevated it a lot. Like me playing Atlantica KH2 is a slog because I know that my button pushes are entirely visual, and it just takes me way out. That's why I dislike Atlantica. Other people dislike it because it's not like combat, but like I don't like it because it's mistimed button pushes.
Kingdom Hearts has this thing where it has had like freaking rhythm or like music mini games in it in the past, and they're all kind of atrocious.
Yeah, Ice Cream Beat.
Yeah, but actually, Melody of Memory is looking freaking awesome. Like everything fits the timing. It looks dynamic. It looks interesting. There is like some sort of depth like to it. So I don't know how they got like from those weird mini games. Like what is the freaking attraction flow in KH3 with the like the horses?
That's another thing we can talk about. Why are they called attraction flow?
Oh my God, yeah. Here's the, you mean the soundtracks, right, for the links?
The links, yeah. Freaking Macau attraction flow version.
Yeah, every freaking summon.
He's not a attraction flow.
Why are all the summon tracks in KH3 in the soundtrack, they are labeled as attraction flow version? Even though they aren't attraction flows? I don't get it. I don't understand. I think Shimomura and Shimoda did all of those arrangements as well.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Oh no, actually no. It was someone else, but the freaking Japanese looks similar.
I think it was like two people did two of them, and then one person did two of them, and then one other person did another two, and then someone else did.
So Yuko Komiyama did most of them.
She's the 0.2 arranger, right?
She did Macaco, Adventure in Atlantica, Sagana Pride, and Dream Eaters. And
she did 4. Okay, wow.
And also Hand in Hand, which is the only attraction here that is an actual attraction.
And I think Sekito did 8-bit what are the
Yeah,
Wreck-It Ralph one was, right?
it was Sekito. I swear to God, I thought that would be Ishimoto, but it's Sekito.
No,
It's just
Sekito does a
'cause-
lot of electronic arrangements.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
I keep forgetting that. Like, you even mentioned it yourself. Like, people will always assume Ishimoto is the one who does electronic tracks, and that's
It's just because
something
people
I
like
do as well.
associate him with like The World Ends with You, but like really, I can't think of too many electronic arrangements since that 2008 game that he's done ever. Like Crisis Core was all like acoustic and
He did stuff for the grid
violin and whatever.
in DDD. Like,
Oh yeah,
things
he
for
did
grid.
Access the Grid
Yeah.
for
Hey,
DDD. That's
oh, my
right.
cat is here. Hello.
Say hi for me.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what she's doing.
Bye.
Okay, yeah, she's just like shoving her butt here.
Keep this all in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it like this is she's the star of the show. Hello.
Yeah.
She's asking bye again. Okay.
She wants your sandwich.
Yeah. Most of all, freaking. Not only is Ishimoto not doing freaking electronic tracks for Cage 3, he is doing orchestral stuff, but badly. So
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his orchestral work.
there's a
in
lot of
general.
people who are very fond of him, but I think there's no denying that when it comes to the quality of the instruments and the arrangements, it's just very inferior to, you know, everyone else who was working in the soundtrack. And it's kind of weird because, like, I can't think of a single excuse to make, like, for example, the final boss theme of the game sound half-assed, you know?
We're about to talk about the final boss theme. I'm gonna be super
Yeah.
sad.
We're-
I'm not a big fan. But like to wrap it back to Nomura, I think the reason he has Ishimoto on his projects is because of their collaboration from The World Ends With You forever ago. And like, oh, that was a cult classic, so we're gonna bring you into Kingdom Hearts. And I guess they've also worked together. I don't know if he did Crisis Core, if Nomura did Crisis Core, but Ishimoto did Crisis Core.
Yeah.
And these games, how old is Crisis Core? I think it's 2013.
No, I have never played it, so I have no idea.
But yeah, the last things I know, the things I know about Ishimoto is that he did The World Ends With You, seemingly from nowhere. Like that's his first game, and it was great. It was fantastic in terms of story and music. Great, good job. Crisis Core kind of came out after that, and then since then there's been like what, Dissidia, and like I can't think of anything else he's composed for. Like that's about it. And all this was,
I guess.
oh yeah, aside from Kingdom Hearts stuff.
Yeah.
But that's like it. That's fun. And then he just gets on these Kingdom Hearts projects. So it's kind of cool how he just kind of came out of nowhere for The World Ends With You, and then got put on all these sort of side Final Fantasy projects, and
Yeah.
now is in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
He did the arrangement for Toy Box, that like trailer for Yozora.
Oh, that's right. He did the Verum Rex track that plays in the trailer for Verum Rex. Which honestly,
Yeah, you can tell it's an Ishimoto because every instrument plays the melody.
that's
I'm watching.
true. Well, there is no harmony in that track, right? It's just like
Correct. Also why I'm not a huge fan of it. My whole thing is like strong melody and a harmony.
Yeah, just
Anything,
have
even
a
if it's a
harmony.
drone.
I mean, as long as it's not
God, I love harmony.
a drone in the tonic, you know, like what he does in freaking Final Xehanort. Hello. We are back.
Let's talk about Sekito and how great he is.
I mean, Sekito is doing really good stuff for Union Cross.
Unironically, I love Fresh Fruits Balls and Majestic Wings. Like those are great tracks.
I don't care for either of those, but I like his Union Cross things. He's doing like most of the Union Cross new arrangements. Like the freaking Wreck-It Ralph world has so much music, because it's pretty much like freaking 4 worlds into one. So
The sad thing is that, like, to me, the sad thing is that Sekito is doing all these like mini game and like side area and like non-canon stuff Union Cross is canon, but it's like a mobile game, so it's like, come on. And then Ishimoto is getting like these important boss battle themes, the final battle of KH3, and it's like their roles in my mind should be switched. Like Ishimoto should be doing minigame stuff, and Sekito should be doing like battles, like important battles, important worlds, and stuff like that.
I can get that. I can understand that. But I also just like appreciate Sekito's minigame tracks and gummy ship tracks. Like his gummy ship stuff.
Oh, his
for
KH3 gummy ship is
so good. Yes.
I love it.
We should probably have mentioned that earlier, that he's the one who did the gummy ship tracks for KH3, because I think that's the thing that most people will recognize him from, at least in KH3. Just that world. I mean that part of the game. But yeah, I don't know. He's neat. He's really proving himself as I think he is, like, when it comes to actually composers in the series, he has proven himself as the second best, like next to Shimomura. Obviously, there's
as far as composers go,
yeah,
I suppose so. If I had my way, it would be a trio of Shimomura, Kamioka, and Miyano.
Oh, absolutely. I would be down for that. Because I think they are the ones who understand the music of the series the best when it comes to an emotion.
They understand Shimomura the best because they're friends.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure Sekito and Ishimoto and Shimomura are friends, but I mean, it just feels like Miyano and Kamioka are like her trusted collaborators.
Yeah, I feel like they just get the series.
Whereas, like, for Kingdom Hearts, like, she just like sends her compositions off to Ishimoto like 5 months before the game is set to be published or something, and then he has to write something in a week. And he's like,
yeah, that's how it comes.
It always feels like, and like Ishimoto has given interviews before where he's like kind of complained about like how he gets the music that he's supposed to compose for like really soon before a deadline.
Yeah.
And he stresses about it, and it feels bad for him because like Shimomura is a well-known procrastinator, and if she doesn't compose a song, then there's just no song for that whole game. Which I guess is why they had to bring on collaborators. Like, I don't blame her for being a procrastinator, but like when you've got collaborators, you gotta put out consistent work.
I feel like
I'm blaming Shimomura now.
I feel like the reason there are so many composers involved in the KG, which actually it's not that many. I think I listed all of the ones here. There's like, I'm gonna like read all of them. There's Yuko Kamiyama, who did the Toy Story cutscenes. There's Shotaro Shima, who did Tangled and Frozen cutscenes. There's Yuki Hirose, who did the one phlegm theme for Tangled. Kenichiro Fukui, who did Thermosphere, Yoshiki Nakamura, who did Senran Sokyo cutscenes, and one cutscene in the end of the game, in the Keyblade Graveyard section. And Yasunori Nishiki, who did one track as well. And then, yeah, for the base game, those were it. And note how a lot of these only did one track. Yasunori Nishiki, Kenichiro Fukui, and Yuki Hirose, they only did one track each, so I really don't count them that much. That leaves like 3 other people, or 4.
That's so bizarre. KH3 is like, what's my point here? Is that like, ever since like if my thing is like, if you have more than one composer or arranger working on something, then your game OST is kind of going to feel uneven. And to me, the Kingdom Hearts 3 soundtrack was very uneven. It was like a true celebration of the series, and that they reused themes from like the whole series. But like in terms of like, if you were to just listen to it, like all of the audio pieces, it was super uneven in terms of quality. Not that that's like, I guess, a bad thing, but that's why I prefer like the soundtracks for like KH2 and KH1 more. But yeah, they did this also with Final Fantasy VII R, where like what's his name? Masashi Hamauzu?
I don't know.
Yeah, Hamauzu was the audio director, and he had like 1,000 collaborators. And also for Final Fantasy 15, Shimomura was the audio director, and she also had like 1,000 collaborators. And so, like those big AAA games, KH3 also has 1,000 collaborators.
Yes.
So.
Um,
I mean, my ideal sort of KH3 or KH4 soundtrack would be all composed by Shimamura, but I know she's like getting tired and she needs, you know, other people to like actually do the arrangement, because she's probably more content to do like concerts and stuff. I'm like, I don't doubt that she loves composing for Kingdom Hearts, but like she has to be exhausted by now.
poor woman. She's just like she has so much on her plate, and people expect
Mhm.
so much of her like already when it comes to the music in this series.
That's why
Um,
she gets only like guest roles sort of nowadays. Like ever since 2016 or so, she's just been doing like one track for Smash Bros. Or like
yeah.
one track for an anime, or like she did compose the whole soundtrack for the anime High School Girl.
Oh, I have no
If
idea what
anybody
that
wants
is.
to check that out on Netflix. So,
I guess I'll check the soundtrack out.
but yeah, she's been like kind of doing contract work like that, I guess, recently.
Cool.
So yeah, she's been busy. She's doing the Nobuo Uematsu thing where like he'll slowly step away from the Final Fantasy series and then focus more on concerts and stuff. And I think that's what Shimamura is doing. But we will see. We will see in the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, David, I'm gonna have to cut you off right here because well, I think we talked about everything that we could talk about for now. When it comes to, I guess, the composers in the series, I think we talked about pretty much everyone. If we didn't, I guess we missed some Cage 3 people. Oops. But I would like to thank you so much for joining me into this new thing, which I'm not like sure how it's gonna go, but it was great to
No
establish
problem.
the formula here with you. This was a very fun conversation, a very fun time. My computer is exploding, and I need to I need to freaking stop recording so I can turn on my fan and keep it from exploding. And also, I
No
really
worries.
need to go to the bathroom. But again, thank you very much. Also, for anyone who's watching this to the end, thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, cool. We'll see you in the next episode. When I'm not sure when
Yeah,
that's gonna come out, but it should be soon after I
it's
post
been
this.
fun. Good luck
Yeah.
with sound ideas. See
Thank
you
you so
later.
much, and good luck with everyone. Check out his series, The Music of Kingdom Hearts, in his channel,
Oh
Green
yeah,
Requiem,
come watch my videos. They're
which
pretty good.
is it's so amazing, and also like I don't know, it's cool as hell. And video essays are awesome.
Connections.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just talking
hard
about
to
all
agree.
these different motifs and how they connect and all the narrative relevance in the soundtrack. So cool. Also, something I wish I could just talk about here, but I think David says pretty much everything that needs to be said in his series. So I guess I'll just recommend that. And yeah, all right, everyone, thank you so much for checking in again, and see ya.
Good luck with your computer, Kino.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna stop.